Well, let's turn our attention back to the coronavirus because fears of the illness have rattled global markets. But is now the time to consider investing in small cap stocks? And are there any that can benefit from the virus outbreak? Chris Retzler is the growth fund portfolio manager at Needham, and he joins us here in studio with more. Great to have you on today.
Thanks for having me.
We've been talking a lot about the impacts of the coronavirus on the markets, the big uncertainty. Is a small cap maybe the safe haven play right now?
For a lot of the technology companies that we invest in, what we're actually beginning to hear later in the earnings cycle is the downside that these guys are beginning to see. And what they're providing is really what's the minimum impact we're going to have. They're not telling you the upper end of it, because I do think that this is really a slow train that could be moving off the tracks as this extends. So there is concern out there. Longer term, for active investors we see it as opportunity, but we do think that you're going to possibly be coming into a period of time where there's going to be, some real impact from what's going on over there.
In terms of small caps, which is sort of what you focus on, where do you see opportunity right now concerning the coronavirus? Maybe some areas that could actually benefit as this disease continues to spread?
There's a small cap healthcare company that's called Genmark Diagnostics. It does a lot of testing for flu, but it's not testing for the corona, but as other cases come here, you can begin to say, all right, if it's not flu, then what is it? So that's a name that's been under a lot of pressure lately. There's been some turnover at the senior level, but that would be a play that we'd be looking at, going into the remainder of the year.
Slightly broader question. We've now had 2 years of the Trump tax cuts. How did those help small caps compared with large caps? More or less about the same, and what's the outlook?
So one area that we saw was some CapEx spending in where we invest, data centers. And so there was a lot of buildup of that inventory 2 years ago. So last year, there was a burn off of that inventory. And what we're seeing this year is, or what we think we will see, is more sales into the data centers. They've gotten rid of that inventory. Also, you have upgrades of chips and so forth that those players would want to put in their systems. But from a tax perspective, I think now people are really making decisions more, do I need it? And how much do I need?
And when you talk about the inventory buildup in data centers, what's the specific play on the back of that?
So companies like Supermicro Computers, which makes high-end servers. So that whole trend, if you look at their numbers, they've been guiding higher. They just got all their financials back in place. They had some accounting issues. So that's been a name that hasn't really been followed by a lot of institutional investors who can't hold it due to that. But going forward, we still think that their roadmap looks pretty good for the rest of the year.
Why do you think it is that small cap stocks just haven't been getting a lot of love from Wall Street? They've been underperforming the larger cap stocks for some time now.
So I think it's a combination of things. I think you have some higher volatility that's coming back into the marketplace. Clearly, you're seeing that in the yield curve that's been compressing from a variety of reasons, central bank manipulation not being one of them as well. But I think when you're looking for some safety and ability to weather that storm, small caps are a little bit more challenged. Also, when you look at Apple today, who are they going to put pressure on? They're going to put pressure on their supply chain. And in that supply chain is a lot of small cap companies who may not be able to manage that as well as Apple can. Much bigger, broader financial platform.
Okay. Chris Retzler, Needham Growth Fund Portfolio Manager. Great to have you in studio.
Thank you.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.